Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahushai. I pray the Most High blesses the lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, many of the events that we have been foretold in prophecy and like World War III, things like that, they are now ready to be fulfilled. Now that we have entered into the last 3.5 years of the 7-year tribulation period, you can see now how things are going to ramp up. Last Friday, I know things have been ramping up, but last Friday around our Passover, I started seeing these videos about the desert prepper guy, and trying to find his channel real fast. But he has some more information today about the borders being closed. Let me get it on here really fast. It's the just make sure I give him credit here. Off-grid desert. I'm trying to go to his channel here. Off-grid desert farming. I'm going to leave a picture actually in a little bit. You can actually find him that way too. He's got some good information. But today, the breaking news: Ukraine is closing borders. Russia moving more heavy firepower. Breaking news: Ukraine on the verge. Okay, so there's all this information coming out about World War III, starting with Ukraine and Russia. Now, remember, how many times have we, seen all these events happen and then nothing really come to fruition? We've seen that over and over and over again. But now, what's different? What is different now than before? Many of the things that have the precursors to these events happening has taken place. We've entered into the last 3.5 years of tribulation period. We have been awakened. We have finished our 400 to 500 years of punishment by the Most High. We can easily see how society is right now. You can easily see the people who are down with the Most High and the ones that are not. The ones that are down with this system. And something else that was put in the comment section. I haven't counted all these days yet, but I would like for you guys, maybe you guys can actually count them out and actually check this out and see if it's actually true. I mean, I know it's got to be pretty damn close. Yeah, wow. September 23rd, 23rd of September 2017 to the 4th of April 2021 is 1,290 days. And you start going into the book of Daniel, you start getting all that information. See, they've been the ones trying to break down all this information. They're the ones that have taken our books and try to break down prophecy, but exclude us from the prophecy. But if this is true, then it makes sense as to why we had that 4321 on the date of our Passover. If you got that on top of the 1290 days talked about in prophecy, you have the beginning of a lot of this information talking about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, and how it seems as if Russia is setting up and they're not trying to back down anymore. And we know that that's all biblical as well. Just how, when we were in Babylon and the Most High used the Persians and Medes to take down our oppressors. That's why it's so important to make sure you have a really good understanding of history, because things seem to, they just repeat over and over again. And that's what we're seeing. And see, the thing is this: the Gentiles know it. The Gentiles know, okay, see, they've taught us, like, when you see certain things happening, you see certain things like something like this: 1290 days, October on April 4th, on our Passover. They would just say, "Oh man, you're being crazy. Don't even look at that kind of stuff. Don't even worry about that kind of stuff. That stuff is not true. We don't agree with that. We don't agree with your breakdown. We don't agree with what you're saying because the white man didn't approve it." See, they've done this forever to keep us from looking at the signs. Everything has been about keeping us from looking at the signs. I mean, how many more signs do you need between our Passover, 290 days, the end of the 400 to 500 years? See, they haven't tried to break it down. The Genesis 15:13. They're just silent. Have you seen any of them try to break it down and try to actually apply those curses to someone else? No, they just ignore it because they think that they're in some kind of a position to be able to ignore what the Most High is bringing out. But see, this is nothing new. So that's why I told you that they know it. The Gentiles already know it, but they've been trying to make sure that we don't take any heed to these signs. And the vast majority of our people who are not in the truth, who are not listening to people like myself, people who are in the truth, our brethren, they don't want to listen to anybody like myself. Oh, this nigga don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna make sure I keep listening to white Jesus. White Jesus, my pastor who has lied to me about absolutely everything, I'm gonna listen to him. See, if you went and you actually celebrated Easter yesterday, you're in a whole lot of trouble. If you continuously ignore the Most High's chosen people, you are in a boatload of trouble right now. If you ignore all these signs that the Most High is bringing out, you are in a heap of trouble right now. So I hope it was worth it to go to your churches. I hope it was worth it to be lied to. I hope it was worth it to go chase after some Easter eggs, because now you've opened yourself up for a whole lot of trouble with the true power. But look at that right there. On top of all the other signs. We're going to talk about a couple more right now. This was shared with me as well about the fact that, DMX had his heart attack on the day of our Passover. And his first name being Earl, also dealing with royalty in Britain. But his neck has Exodus, I think, chapter 1, verse 7, tattooed on his neck. Again, the vast majority of the world be like, man, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, you're going to talk about this rapper who's rapped all these, horrible, verses and blah, 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 blah. I've listened to DMX for most of whenever he was out, I love DMX. Do I have to agree with absolutely everything was in his? No, but I said many of us have listened to DMX. But the Most High is using him as another sign. So you got that Exodus 1 and 7 tattooed on his neck. We were celebrating, our Exodus that evening. So like I said, none of this stuff is on accident. But see, the rest of the heathens and the Gentiles want to act like all these signs mean nothing, or maybe they don't mean anything to them, but they mean a lot to the Most High's chosen people. When you allow the Most High to, open your eyes to see all these different things. Take a look here. Another one. All this information has been sent to me. And and it's just amazing how the Most High is putting all this information together. It says, yes, what's more confirming is that it looks like it's Exodus 1 and 7. On his neck, which is Exodus 1 and 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now, when you go back into Joel 2, it seems like this is what this is talking about. When the Most High sweeps our land, sweeps these enemies off of our lands, and then he blesses us and he gives us back the years that the locusts have taken away. The land becomes fruitful again. We start to have babies again, populate the land again, and we become mighty once again. See, that's all part of the plan of the Most High. When you go into the Apocalypse of Abraham, it talks about that's why you got to get a little bit of this information from different books. But you have all these signs everywhere. And people who actually went and celebrated Easter are trying to tell us or dictate what's true and what's not. People who still believe in white Jesus are seem to think that they're still on top and that they get to dictate what is acceptable and what is not. So I said you can only take a little bit of what they say, but the vast majority of it means nothing. The days of them being able to just keep us at the bottom and not let us have our own opinion is over. And that's how they've been, not listening to what we have to say, not listening to our breakdowns, not listening to our opinions of anything. Our opinions is actually based off of what the Most High is showing us. Their opinion is based on absolutely nothing. Their opinions are based off the breakdowns of Gentiles and heathens off of our scriptures that has nothing to do with them. And this here's like the guy's a picture of his one of his stories right here. Breaking news: Iran pledges to back Russia and Ukraine. Like all these, there's all these agreements going on right now. I want to say France and Germany pledged their allegiance to Ukraine. So you got everything's being set up, and this time it's not going to just go away. The time of just these big, uproars and then nothing happening, those days are over. See, before they would do certain things like this to throw us off. We would see like, oh man, look, it's about to happen, and then nothing happens. Oh man, look at this, and then nothing happens. Not anymore. Mosai told us that date. That was a countdown right there. 290 days showing up right there. All these events that, of course, the Gentiles are going to act like don't matter because they always act like we don't matter. But see, let's remember. Let's go back and talk about this story that shows you that the Gentiles know exactly what's going on. Not the ones in the streets right now, not the ones that are so happy to go celebrate Easter, not those ones that are trying to get to church every Sunday right now, who still, who's still over here talking about why Jesus is going to save them. The higher ups, they know exactly what's going on. Let me show you how they know how to look at signs and they know that things are not happening by accident. Do you guys remember the story of when Moses was like a young toddler and he was at the like a dinner with the Pharaoh and many of the other higher ups. And Moses reached over and took the crown from the Pharaoh and put it on his own head. Now, see, yeah, that's not a big deal. Yeah, the kids do that. They take things off their head, their dad's heads, and put on theirs. No big deal. But see, the the heads, the men that were up the top, his counselors, his druids, his wizards for the pharaoh. They saw that as an omen. They saw that as an omen that Moses was going to take over the kingdom. Moses was going to be the end of their kingdom. And they were talking about how the Holy Spirit is with these Hebrews, and that she does things like this as signs. They were well aware of the Holy Spirit and how certain things might not be like a big deal, but they really are. So they were talking about, how the Holy Spirit's always helping our people and always destroying the other nations. They're well aware of this. So they were, if you read the story, I want to say it's in Jasher. If you guys remember where the story's at, go ahead and put that in the comment section as well, okay? But these people knew exactly what was going on. It was not just a little idle gesture from a little kid. They know that that was the Holy Spirit that was definitely making a point. And exactly what happened when Joseph was a little kid and took the crown was exactly what happened later on. When through Moses, the Most High destroyed Egypt. So if they were so sure about that little gesture of taking the taking the crown from the Pharaoh and putting it on Moses' head was pretty much a sign or an omen of horrible things to come. What do you think all of these signs that we have right now mean? It's a lot more than just taking the crown off the Pharaoh and putting it on your head. You got, you definitely have the dates. You have the end of the 400 years. They know the prophecy is when the 400 years are over, that the Most High is going to destroy the nation that took us into slavery. They're well aware, where they're very well aware of that. They know it doesn't say they do they go through 400 years and then they get to continue on oppressing our people for another however long. That's what when they say they want to go back to normal, that's what they're saying. They're saying things that are not in the scriptures. They're saying things that are made up. They are living in make believe land, la la land. There is no, hey, we're going to get back to normal. That's not what the prophecy says. After we serve our punishment, the Most High is going to make you pay. So on top of Genesis 15:13, you have these dates. September 23rd, 2017 to April, 4th of April, 2021, 1290 days. Another, another point. You think that's an accident? Then we have the Most High, touching DMX and with all these on our Passover. And then, the Exodus, 1 and 7 on his neck. You think that's all an accident? You think all of this build up all of a sudden to World War III, really ramping up on our Passover? You think that's all an accident? See, you don't get a reprieve anymore. There is no reprieve. You just have 3.5 years before that eclipse comes down. And there's a whole lot of prophecy that needs to be fulfilled within these next 3.5 years. You have plagues happening worldwide. So, like I said, none of this is an accident anymore. The Most High is going to use other nations to fight with one another. Just like it was said, I can't say the guy's name because I don't want to get the video flag, but the leader of Germany said that during World War II, said that once the world realized who we are, the true Jews. He talked about how that would be the spark that will start World War III. So what do you think is going to happen? See, the Most High is now about to have the world know who we are, and that be the spark for World War III. Everything is set up. They're running to the border between Ukraine and Russia. Countries are taking sides right now. We are at the precipice of the Most High revealing who we are to the world. The Most High has been beating them down for a year, just like we talked about in the other video we just did. Now that goes with Jacob 5 and how the Most High says as we grow, he's going to be sweeping the other ones off the land in kind. So like I said, the days are short. There will not be, hey, we're not going to fight now. We're going to keep it going. We're just going to keep on doing exercises. No, they're all going to fight because the Most High does that. Most High turns them one on another, just like he's done in the past, and he will do again here in the future. He said he will cleanse our lands. So that's what the Most High is going to do. Everything that he has written in the scriptures has come to pass to this point. Just like the other books give us more information, those prophecies will come to fruition as well. So definitely keep your eye on that guy's channel, the Desert Guy. He has some good information that's coming out that's not coming out mainstream. Most High uses, who he wants to use. He wants to use this guy right here to bring some information. That's great. He's still talking about the whole Jesus thing and Israel over there and all that other stuff. We know, hey, we take a little, take the meat, spit out the bones. That's exactly what we're doing. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we'll continue to do. But we're on definitely on those days where all of these different events are now going to begin to happen. That's why the rest of the world, such people here, just ignore it because nothing ever really happens to America. Nothing really happens to Esau and the Gentiles. Esau's always on top, and many of the people that are still in the systems think that Esau's always going to be on top. I'm here to let you know that Esau is not going to be on top much longer. He's just holding on by a thread, and the Most High has to pull that thread very soon. All praise is to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.